Okay, so I've gone ahead and applied the UVs to all of the bolts. Okay, so the last thing we need to unwrap here is the bar. Alright, so let's grab that. We'll hide everything else. And this will be the most difficult piece for us to unwrap. We're going to need to cut quite a few seams into this to get it to unfold correctly. Alright, so we'll just start maybe up on the top corner here. Let's just put on an unwrap. Okay, and we'll do the same process here. We'll just do some edge selections that we can convert to seams. Alright, so we're going to go to edge there. We'll just grab one here on the side and zoom in on it. Okay, and I think the best way to approach this will be to kind of cut off this back piece of the tab here. And we can probably detach the front piece and then just maybe split some of these corners here. Alright, so let's go around the back. We'll start maybe right here on this edge. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one, and that's the one that goes to that corner point again. Alright, so let's grab that. We'll also control click this one here and loop those. And let's actually undo that for a second. Let's maybe continue it along this way. So let's grab this one here and loop that one instead. Okay, so it goes along the back edge there. And we'll maybe split it around to the front here. So let's grab this one and we'll do a loop and convert that to a seam. Okay, so along the side here, down the back and to the front corner. Okay, we'll make the exact same one on the bottom. Alright, so this one here, loop those two edges. And just continue that around to the front. Okay, now let us unfold this back tab piece. Alright, so let's maybe spin around to the other side here. And we're going to need to split it right here on this corner in order for this to kind of fold out. Alright, so let's grab this one here, which is the same one that ends off in that corner point. We'll do a loop on that. And let's maybe detach from this section as well. So I'm going to continue this up and over the top to that back seam. Alright, so we'll control click that edge there and loop it. Okay, and let's also maybe split it down here. So let's grab this one and do a loop on that edge, and we'll convert that to seams. And we'll make the exact same cuts on the bottom here. Alright, so the center edge here, as well as this one, loop those and convert them to seams. Okay, so this is pretty much what we have. These corner edges all the way to the back, split down there, and along the back and to the front here on the corners. Okay, so that should be able to unfold correctly. We're going to have to make the same cuts on the other four tab pieces. Okay, so we'll zoom in down at the bottom here. Select that same edge, loop it, and I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit here so it doesn't take quite as long. Okay, so same ones, just continue those along and to the back. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay, straight to the back. We'll convert that to a seam, like so, and then we just need to split these to the corners there. Alright, just grab an edge and hit C if you're having problems rotating. Alright, so that same one there, loop, and continue that to the front. Okay, just like that. Alright, exact same thing over here on the other end. Just grab an edge over there and zoom in on it. And we actually don't want to have this one selected on the back, we want to have this selected on the front. So I'm just going to deselect this edge going down. Okay, we'll do the front one instead. Okay, and then we'll just split these along the back. Alright, so the two corner edges here, and the two on the bottom. Okay, and one more up here. Okay, so let's check it out here and make sure we have the same edge selections on each of the 4 pieces. Okay, and at the other end. Okay, so that looks good. So we'll just continue our way along here. We're going to need to probably cut out these center sections and kind of break this long piece into multiple chunks. Alright, so let's go over here. Let's grab an edge and zoom in on it. Okay, and for where these struts come down, we're just going to break these right off. Okay, so we'll go up into the corner here and select this edge here. Okay, where that corner point is. We'll also control click this one and loop those. Okay, now I'll go underneath to the back as well as over the top to the back. Alright, so we'll convert that to a seam. Make the exact same cut over on this side. Okay, so those 2 corner edges looped. Okay, and let's maybe go down to the bottom here. Okay, and I think I actually have this upside down, so it's going to rotate around. Okay, and we'll just do the same ones here. Okay, so just like that. Right, and same thing over on the strut. Okay, those 2 corner edges. And finally these ones over here. Okay, so we're pretty much going to cut these 2 into separate sections. We'll cut this off into 2 separate pieces, as well as these ends into 4 separate pieces. Okay, and I think that's all the seams we'll need to split this. Alright, so let's go back over to the polygon here. And we're going to do the same process we did before. We're pretty much going to use Pelt mapping on all these pieces. Okay, and let's maybe start on the back here on one of the tabs. Okay, so I'm going to select a polygon on that tab, and we'll just expand that and Pelt map it. Okay, so let's let that pull out. Just move this over so we can see. Okay, that should just be the faces on the tab there. Alright, so we'll do the same thing on all the other 3 pieces. Okay, I'm going to do these first just so we make sure that we get everything. We're going to have quite a few chunks here. Okay, so Pelt map all 4 of those end pieces, and then we'll spin around the front, and we'll just start working our way across the top. Okay, so let's grab this one here, expand that, and Pelt map that piece as well. Okay, and let's do the bottom one while we're at it. Okay, and let's get the strut. Alright, so just let that pull until it stops. Okay, an exact same process all the way along the piece here. Okay, and one more piece down at the bottom. Okay, and I believe that's all the chunks. Alright, so we'll just make this a little bit bigger. And we'll just try to sort out our chunks here. Alright, so I'm just going to space these apart quickly. Okay, and we'll grab all of them and just relax them down quickly. Okay, so same process here, face angles and an amount of 1. Okay, so we'll let that go for a minute, and a few of these are going to take a little bit of time to straighten out because we have so many edges on there. Okay, so something like that should be good for starters. Let's maybe grab this piece, which I believe is one of the struts. Okay. Alright, so let's just organize this a bit. We'll grab these two pieces. I'm actually going to straighten these out and then relax them down, just to get rid of that kink. Okay, so with that one selected, I'm going to straighten it out and then relax it. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll do the same thing with this one. Just let that go until it doesn't really move around too much. Okay, and these are the end pieces here, so let's maybe see if that'll go anymore. It looks pretty straight as it is, so we'll just leave that one. Okay, and these ones look good as well. Alright, and these ones here are the center sections of the bar, so we're going to need to straighten these out as well. Alright, and to make that easier, I'm just going to do the same thing, straighten it, and then relax it. Okay, and the same with the other one there. Straighten and relax. Okay, and our little tab pieces here, which are the back ends, they look good as well. So now we can just organize this a bit. Alright, so let's close that. I'm just going to rescale the pieces here as well. Okay, and we'll just organize this quickly. Okay, so just going to look in the viewport here to see which piece goes where. And we'll find the one that goes up here, which is this one here. So I'm just going to move this up to the top. Okay, and this one's the one underneath it, so I'm just going to leave that there. And we'll kind of lay it out in the same way as it's built in the viewport there. Okay, so let's grab this one. Stack that there for a minute. This is the other one. Alright, we'll also grab these little tab pieces and just put those next to the piece that it goes with. Okay, and these are our two center sections, and we're going to need to rotate these, so I'm going to grab them and rotate them 90 degrees, and we'll just sort that out. Okay, so now that we have it organized, I'm just going to pack it a little bit better. Okay, so we'll start with this top corner. We'll just kind of fit this together here. And I'm not going to worry about it too much, we'll just kind of line it up. Okay, we'll kind of fit this piece in around these other ones. And for these tabs, we'll just maybe put them down here and just rotate them a little bit more straight. Okay, we'll just leave them like that. Same on the other end. Okay, so we'll just leave the pack like that. We'll scale it down a bit more and try to fit it in here. And later on we might change the layout. As you can see, we have quite a bit of empty space here. So we'll see if we can fill this up with other pieces, or we'll just change the layout after we have everything in here. Alright, so we'll scale it down like that. Let's close this. And we'll just put our checker on to see if we have any stretching. Okay, and I don't think we should. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's just unhide all. And I believe we've gotten all the pieces. Let's check it out quick. Okay, so the UVs are all done on each of the pieces. We still need to attach them all together and then pack the UVs as well as get everything into the proper scale, which we'll do next. Okay, so let's maybe grab the main piece of the shield again, and we still have the unwrap modifier on top of the edit poly here, so we're just going to right click and convert this back to head wall poly here to collapse the stack and remove the unwrap modifier from the list. It'll still keep our UV coordinates, but it'll remove it from the stack here, so we can actually go over to the attach box, open that up, and we'll select everything and attach it all as one object. And now we'll just throw another unwrap modifier on top and open up the UV editor window. Okay, and we'll just do our final pack now that we have all the UVs in here. Okay, another thing we need to do before we pack them is just get everything in the proper scale. Alright, you can see our checker sizes all over the place here, so I want to make sure that these are in the proper proportion to each other like I mentioned earlier. Okay, let's maybe just do that immediately. So I'm just going to rescale the elements here. And like I mentioned before, if you don't have this option, you're going to have to manually scale these chunks of UVs down until you get the checker size even over the entire model. Okay, so it's going to rescale these. Okay, you can see that put them all over top of each other. So we're going to just need to sort this out quick. Right, and let's maybe go back into the modify panel here. I'm just going to turn on polygon, and I'm also going to turn on sync by or select by element here. Okay, and that'll let us grab each of the chunks in the viewport so we have the UVs selected here. All right, so we're just going to sort this out really quickly. I'm going to select the main part of the shield here. We'll just space this out a bit. Okay, and we're just going to sort them out quickly. Okay, don't worry about too much. We'll do our final pack afterwards. Just want to get them sorted out here so that we don't have them overlapping. Okay, so we got that one done. Let's grab the window trim here in the viewport, which will select all those pieces for us. Let's just move this up here, and we'll just sort this out quick. Okay, so I'm actually going to flip this piece over, and we'll grab the two side pieces here. Okay, and I'm just going to put one of these on each side, and we'll maybe rotate it a bit. And let's maybe flip it like that. We'll just kind of set it right here. And you don't have to follow the same UV layout that I'm doing here. You can lay them out any way you like. Okay, so let's maybe go over and we'll grab one of these clips here. Okay, we're actually going to have all four of the clips on top of each other in the unwrap window because we use the same UV coordinates for each one. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these apart by selecting each one in the viewport. Okay, so we'll stack those up. And let's grab the glass there as well. We'll just move that over to the side. Both pieces. Okay, we'll also go down to the bottom here and grab those bottom clips. Okay, and they'll be over top each other as well, so let's grab both those. And it looks like it's spacing them apart a little bit here, so I'm just going to kind of move these back together. Okay, we'll just line them up something like that. And we'll spin around the back here in the viewport. And let's grab the arm bar. Let's move that over. Let's grab the handle. Let's pull that down here. Okay, and this is also over top of each other, so we'll sort that out quick. Oops. Okay, it looks like this is actually the top and this is actually the bottom. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate it around again. And we'll rotate this one around on top. Okay, we'll leave it something like that for now. And let's also grab the bars here. Just going to move that down a bit. And as you can see, the rescale option kind of messed up our layout there and just put it over top of each other. So we'll just quickly sort this back out. Just going to grab the two middle sections and let's move these around. Let's get a little bit more room here. Just going to move these down below. Okay, so we'll kind of lay it out the way we had it before. Just going to kind of fit these around each other here. And if you do the manual scaling of the pieces rather than using the scale option here, you won't have to actually readjust these. They'll stay in the proper position for you. And you can also use the group options here in Max 12 if you want to keep things together. The only reason I didn't do that for the tutorial here is just because I find it's really slow when you group things and then rescale them. Alright, it's actually probably faster for us just to resort it out here. Okay, and then we got the tabs, which we'll just put maybe over here. And let's just maybe stack them all on one side. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. Alright, so this leaves space apart a bit. I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're going to have a little bit extra UV space anyways, so we don't have to get them super tight together. Okay, so the last thing we have is the bolts, and all of them are going to be on top of each other here, so let's just space those out quickly. I'm just going to grab the bolts here, and we'll just pull them apart. Okay, and we also have the bottom ones down here, which we'll pull out, and the ones on the other side. Alright, so just spin around the back there, and just sort those out. And you don't necessarily have to give everything unique texture space. If you want to leave some of these stacked on top of each other, that's fine. You probably won't notice on the final texture model anyways. But we're going to have a little extra room here, so I'm going to just give it unique space. Okay, and we have one more over here. I think that's the last one. Okay, so we'll just quickly pack these together. And I'm not going to necessarily worry about keeping the side of the bolt around the same space as the other ones. I'm just going to actually stack all of the round parts together, and I'll just help us save some more space later on if these are a little bit more tighter than leaving this right underneath each piece. Okay, when you move these around, make sure you get that center section that's sitting inside that hole there that we put in there earlier. Okay, so we'll just kind of move these around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, something like that, and then we'll just slightly move them a little bit closer together here. Okay, so we'll just stack them together something like this, and that should be fine. And then we'll just grab the other strips here, and we'll just stack those up as well. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I'm also going to leave these slightly spaced apart a bit. Okay, we'll just park these right underneath the bolt heads for now. Okay, so now that we have everything kind of separated out, we can scale all this stuff way down. Okay, we still need to pack it into the 0 to 1 grid, and I'm not going to use the pack option up here. That's going to move our pieces around, so I'm just going to manually do it. All right, but first we'll scale this way down. Okay, and we'll move it over here. And we're going to scale it a little bit smaller than we want it to be at the end. We're just going to kind of pack it into a square, and then we'll size it up if we have any extra room. Okay, so we'll leave it about that size. Okay, and let's just sort this out. We'll start with the main part of the shield here. Just going to move that over a little bit closer. And we'll put this guy in between, similar to how we had it originally. Okay, and I'm just going to leave these, the top and bottom strips sitting up on the top here. Okay, and we'll move this over to the left side. Okay, and just make sure it's just inside the box there. You don't want it sticking out. Okay, and let's maybe take these two glass pieces here. We'll just move these over to the bottom. Okay, I'll put them like something like that. And we'll just fit the rest of the pieces in around this. Let's grab these bars. Put this underneath. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between each of the chunks. Okay, and let's maybe grab that arm bar here. Move this up top. Let's also grab the 3 pieces of the handle and we'll put that underneath. Okay, get that a little bit closer there. Okay, and we'll just cram that window piece over here. Okay, and for this one, let's actually move these out of here for a second, these little clip pieces. Put this over on the other end, and then we can kind of fit this into that part there. Alright, so this kind of fit it in between those pieces of the bar. Okay, and let's see, let's maybe grab those 4 clips, put them up here. Okay, we'll move them a little bit closer together. And we'll move these right pieces in. Okay, and we also have those 2 bottom clips here, so we'll put that underneath. And finally we have those bolts. And we could probably put these in the hole here where the bars are. Okay, and because these are so small, we have quite a bit of extra space here. I'm actually going to scale the bolt heads up a little bit. Alright, so let's scale this all up together. Okay, may as well use the space if we have it, so we'll just kind of fit this in here. I'm going to hold down Alt and deselect the heads, and we'll just take the strips and stack them over on the side. Okay, let's maybe move these ones underneath. Kind of line those up, and let's just maybe grab everything here. Kind of center it in the hole and scale it up a little bit more, just to utilize a little bit more of the space. Okay, and let's select everything now. We'll just kind of move it down into the center and scale everything up at once. Okay, we just want to use as much of the texture as we can. Alright, so we'll kind of just get this fit in. Maybe just a slight bit more. And just make sure it's actually inside the box. Okay, we look pretty good. Alright, we might be able to scale a few of these pieces up just a slight bit. Okay, let's maybe take up this bar as well, just a little bit more. Let's grab the piece of the handle, as well as all these clips, and we'll just move that down a bit so it's not overlapping. Okay, we could probably actually move these down to the bottom. We have a little extra room down here. Okay, and if you want to scale these pieces up a little bit more, you can. It's really not necessary, but if you want to take up more space, just scale this up a little bit. Do the same with these. Okay, I'm going to move this piece up. And we'll kind of just fit these ones in here. Okay, and if you want to, you can stack them on the bottom too. We have a little extra room there as well. Okay, so overall I think that's pretty good for the pack. We utilize most of the space. We have a little bit of free space, but that's no big deal. Okay, so I think we'll call that the final pack. Let's close that up. And we'll just check out the size of the checkers here in the viewport. And I'm just going to turn the tiling up a little bit more here. So we'll go back into the material editor, into our diffuse map, and turn this up to maybe 35 by 35. And we'll just check this out one final time. Okay, and the checker looks pretty much uniform over everything. It'll be a little bit smaller on any pieces that we scaled up. Okay, so I think that looks good. Alright, so I'll take care of the UV mapping, and in the next part we'll go over creating the AO map and then actually making the diffuse, bump, and spec maps in Photoshop.